Bill Russell, the 11-time champion who might just be the greatest player of all time. Here's his story. To truly understand why Bill Russell is often overlooked as the greatest basketball player of all time, we first need to step back in time. Born on February 12, 1934 in Monroe, Louisiana, Russell's life was shaped by the challenges and triumphs of his era. The son of Charles and Katie Russell, Bill grew up in an American riddled with segregation and inequality. Yet, even as a child, he expressed a resilience that would define his career. Russell's family moved to Oakland, California during the Great Migration, seeking better opportunities. In Oakland, Bill discovered basketball, but it wasn't an instant love affair. As a teenager, he was often overlooked for his lack of skill, but one thing set him apart: his work ethic. Bill spent countless hours studying the game, particularly defense. This commitment to improvement laid the groundwork for his future dominance. By the time Russell reached McClymonds High School, he had grown into a defensive powerhouse. Coaches and teammates began to notice his unique approach to the game. While most players focused on scoring, Russell was obsessed with blocking shots, grabbing rebounds, and outsmarting opponents on defense. These were the early glimpses of the player who would redefine basketball's strategic landscape. But high school success was only the beginning. In 1952, Russell earned a scholarship to the University of San Francisco. At USF, Russell's career took a dramatic turn. Russell elevated his game to another level. Under the guidance of coach Phil Wolpert, he transformed from a raw talent into a complete player. He led the Dons to back-to-back NCAA championships in 1955 and 1956. Russell wasn't just a player, he was a force of nature, standing 6'10" with incredible wingspan. He became a defensive juggernaut, averaging an astounding 20.6 rebounds per game over his college career. What really set Russell apart wasn't just his physical abilities, but his basketball IQ. He had an uncanny ability to read plays, anticipate opponents' move, and execute the perfect defensive counter. His impact was so profound that the NCAA instituted rule changes, including widening the lane to reduce his dominance. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Russell's college career was his leadership. He wasn't the loudest player on the court, but his presence inspired teammates to play harder, smarter, and with greater unity. His ability to lead a team would become a hallmark of his professional career. Before joining the NBA, Russell represented the United States in the 1956 Olympics. As the captain of the U.S. basketball team, he led the squad to a gold medal, defeating opponents with an average margin of 53.5 points per game. It was a fitting culmination to his amateur career and prelude to the greatness that awaited him in the professional ranks. By the time Bill Russell entered the NBA, he was already a proven winner. But no one, and I mean no one, could have predicted just how crazy his presence would be for the Boston Celtics and the league as a whole. In 1956, the Boston Celtics acquired Bill Russell through a draft day trade orchestrated by the team's legendary coach and general manager, Red Auerbach. It was a move that would forever alter the course of NBA history. From the beginning, he recognized that Russell's skills were unlike anything the league has ever seen. While others chased scoring titles, he saw the potential for a defensive revolution. Russell made his NBA debut in December 1956, and it didn't take long for him to make an impact. In his rookie season, he averaged an incredible 19.6 rebounds per game and quickly established himself as the league's premier defensive player. But it wasn't just his stats that stood out, it was the way he played. Russell brought an intensity and focus that elevated the Celtics' entire roster. In the 1956-57 season, the Celtics won their first NBA championship. It was a hard-fought series against the St. Louis Hawks, with the Celtics prevailing in a dramatic double overtime victory in Game 7. Russell's impact on the series was undeniable. He dominated the paint, shutting down opposing scores, securing crucial rebounds. The following season marked the beginning of one of the greatest rivalries in sports history: Bill Russell versus Wilt Chamberlain. Chamberlain was a scoring machine, a physical marvel who could dominate any defender, but Russell had something Wilt didn't: an unparalleled understanding to team dynamics. While Chamberlain racked up points, Russell focused on doing whatever it took to win. Over the next decade, Russell and Chamberlain faced off numerous times, with Russell's Celtics consistently getting the better of Chamberlain's teams. Their battles became legendary, showcasing the contrast between individual brilliance and team-oriented excellence. Between 1957 and 1969, Russell led the Celtics to 11 NBA championships in 13 seasons, including an unprecedented 8 consecutive titles from 1959 to 1966. No other player in any sport has matched this level of sustained success, but Russell's greatness wasn't just about the numbers, it was about his ability to inspire and lead. Teammates often spoke about Russell's presence in the locker room. He had a way of motivating others that went beyond words. It was his action, his intensity, his commitment to the team that set the tone. As the Celtics dynasty grew, so did Russell's legacy, but his journey was far from easy. Off the court, he faced relentless racism and hostility. Even in Boston, despite these challenges, Russell remained steadfast, using his platform to advocate for civil rights and social justice. Beyond his incredible achievements on the basketball court, Bill Russell's legacy extends into his profound impact as a social activist. In any era marked by racial tension and civil rights struggles, Russell didn't shy away from the challenges of being a prominent black athlete in America. Instead, he embraced his platform, using it to advocate for justice and equality. Russell's journey as an activist was shaped by personal experiences. Growing up in the segregated South and later facing discrimination in Boston, he saw firsthand the injustices faced by black Americans. Despite being a basketball superstar, he was not immune to racism. From verbal abuse in arenas to vandalism in his home, Russell endured a level of hostility that few could imagine. Yet, he refused to let those challenges define him. Instead, Russell turned adversity into strength. He became one of the first athletes to speak openly about the systemic racism plaguing America, even when doing so risked his career. In 1961, he led a player boycott of an exhibition game in Lexington, Kentucky, after the team's black players were denied service at a local restaurant. It was a bold, unprecedented move, one that sent a clear message. Bill Russell would not tolerate injustice on or off the court. Russell's activism extended beyond symbolic gestures. He participated in the 1963 March on Washington, standing shoulder to shoulder with Martin Luther King and other civil rights leaders. He also used his platform to write and speak about issues of race, equality, and injustice. In his essays and interviews, Russell often spoke with an unflinching honesty, challenging both fans and fellow athletes to confront uncomfortable truths. Russell's activism was not without its cost. He faced backlash from fans, media, and even within his own community. Boston, despite being the city where he brought 11 championships, was a complex and often hostile environment for Russell. He once described it as a flea market of racism, yet he remained strong, understanding that his fight was about more than personal comfort. It was about paving the way for the future generations. Bill Russell's courage inspired countless athletes to follow in his footsteps. His willingness to speak truth to power demonstrated that sports could be a powerful platform for social change. In recognition of his contributions to both basketball and civil rights, Russell was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And to understand more of Bill Russell's greatness, we must look beyond the numbers. Yes, his 11 NBA championships, 5 MVP awards, and 21,000 career rebounds are staggering. But what truly set Russell apart was his ability to elevate his teammates and redefine what is meant to be a team player. He wasn't just a participant in the Boston Celtics dynasty, he was an architect. When Russell joined the Celtics in 1956, the NBA was a different league. It was time when individual stars dominated the headlines and defense was often an afterthought. Russell changed that. His defensive brilliance and unselfish play shifted the focus from individual accolades to team success. He pioneered the concept of the defensive anchor, a player whose primary role was to disrupt opponents and create opportunities for their teammates. Russell's approach to defense was revolutionary. He didn't just block shots, he redirected them to teammates, turning defense into offense. He didn't just grab rebounds, he started fast breaks with precision outlet passes. His defensive presence was so intimidating that opponents often altered their shots just to avoid him. But Russell's brilliance wasn't limited to his physical attributes. He was a master strategist, often studying opponents' tendencies and devising game plans to counteract them. His basketball IQ was unparalleled, allowing him to anticipate plays before they happened. Russell's leadership extended beyond the X's and O's. He had uncanny ability to inspire his teammates and build trust. He wasn't the type to give fiery speeches or dominate the spotlight. Instead, he led by example. His work ethic, selflessness, and unwavering commitment to winning set the tone for the entire team. While Russell's coach was the mastermind behind the team's success, he often deferred to Russell's instincts during the game. It was a partnership built on mutual respect and shared commitment to excellence. Between 1957 and 1969, the Celtics won 11 championships in 13 seasons. It was a run of dominance unparalleled in sports history, and Russell was the main part of that. His ability to adapt to different roles, manage egos, and maintain a winning culture was instrumental in sustaining the dynasty. What made Russell's achievement even more remarkable was the context in which they occurred. The NBA of the 1600s was filled with formidable opponents, including Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, and Oscar Robertson. Despite the competition, Russell's Celtics consistently emerged victorious. His understanding of team dynamics and willingness to sacrifice personal glory for a collective success were the keys to their dominance. Russell's impact wasn't limited to the Celtics. He changed the way basketball was played and understood. His emphasis on defense, teamwork, and leadership became the blueprint for success in the NBA. Modern players and coaches often cite Russell as a source of inspiration. Bill Russell's legacy as a player is unparalleled, but his journey didn't stop there. After dominating the coach, he made history once again by stepping into a new role, head coach of the Boston Celtics. In 1966, Russell shattered barriers by becoming the first black head coach in major American professional sports. This bold move was not just a milestone for basketball, but a significant step forward for racial equality in sports. Russell's appointment came at a time when the civil rights movement was at full swing. The idea of a black man leading a professional team was groundbreaking, and Russell embraced the challenge. He took the dual role of player and coach, a feat that required immense skill, intelligence, and composure. As a player-coach, Russell faced unique challenges balancing the responsibilities of leading from the bench while still performing at an elite level on the court. He thrived in this role, guiding the Celtics to back-to-back championships in 1968 and 69. Russell's coaching philosophy mirrored his approach as a player. He prioritized teamwork, defense, and discipline, instilling a winning mentality in his team. His ability to connect with players on a personal level made him an effective leader. He understood the pressures they faced because he'd experienced them himself. Russell's leadership extended beyond the basketball court. He used his platform to advocate for social change, becoming a symbol. As the first black head coach, he faced intense scrutiny and pressure, but he handled it with grace and determination. In his final season as a player-coach, Russell achieved one of the most iconic moments in NBA history, the 1969 NBA Finals. The Celtics, considered underdogs against the powerhouse Los Angeles team, pulled off a stunning upset. Russell's tactical brilliance and leadership were on full display as Boston secured their 11th championship during this time. After retiring as a player in 1969, Russell continued his coaching career with Seattle Supersonics and later the Sacramento Kings. While his success as a coach in these roles didn't match his Celtics tenure, his impact on the game and his role as a trailblazer remained undeniable. Russell's contributions as a coach went beyond wins and losses. He paved the way for future generations of black coaches in the NBA, proving that leadership knows no color. Figures like Doc Rivers, Tyronn Lue, and Monty Williams, although those are not the greatest examples, they stand on the foundation Russell built, continuing his legacy of excellence and progress. Once again, Bill Russell's impact on the game of basketball was immeasurable, but his impact off the court was even more revolutionary.